Hey, World Entertainment. And you remember that Fury Road came out with Mad Max, who did nothing, said nothing, and really wasn't Mad Max because, as much as you may hate this or love it, Mel Gibson is Mad Max. And he wasn't anywhere to be seen. Tom Hardy, of course, became Mad Max. Well, then we got a prequel to Fury Road this year. That was Furiosa, which absolutely bombed at the box office, much like its predecessor did. And again, it was a Mad Max movie without Mad Max. And then, of course, George Miller was talking about, he's an idea for a Mad Max movie that features Mad Max, but it's a prequel to Furiosa, but a sequel to Beyond Thunderdome. And it was like, so you want to do another Mad Max without actual Mad Max, i.e. Mel Gibson. Well, did you ever want an actual prequel to Mad Max? And I mean a prequel to Mad Max. No? Good, because no one did. However, some moron thinks it's a good idea. That's right, the guy who directed a shitty video game movie wants to make a prequel to Mad Max to focus on Max, but to show you where and how he becomes Mad Max. I don't know if the guy knows this or not, but we've seen that. It was in a movie called Mad Max. But let's have a look at this, because this is just like, no, go away. No. So, it says Furiosa, a Mad Max story, took audiences back before George Miller's phenomenal Fury Road, telling the life story of the titular character played by Anna Taylor-Joy. I should say previously played by Charlize Theron, but whatever. But Australian director Justin Kurzel, I think is how you pronounce it, who made The Order and Assassin's Creed, wants to take audiences back even further, back before 1979. Newer fans will know Tom Hardy best as Max. What a joke that is. The infamous hero of the Mad Max universe. But for decades, I love how this article writes this, Gibson was synonymous with the role. No, he wasn't synonymous with the role. He is synonymous with the role because Mel Gibson is Mad Max. And still is to many long-time fans. No, he is Mad Max. There's no if, buts, ands, maybes about it. He is Mad Max. But Kurzel wants to know how Gibson's version of Max got to where he was. It's like, did this arsehole not ever see Mad Max? Or Mad Max 2, Road Warrior? Or even Beyond Thunderdome? There's 3 goddamn stories to show us how Max became Mad Max. It had something to do with, spoiler alert for an over 40-year-old movie, it had something to do with his wife and child being murdered. Jesus Christ. So speaking to Collider, along with Jude Law to promote The Order, Justin Kroll pitched his dream project, a prequel to the Mel Gibson-led Mad Max. I'll tell you what, maybe because it was such a big influence, but I've always been curious about what happened before the first Mad Max, the director said. There currently aren't any plans for George Miller or any other director to dive that far back into the Mad Max archives for the next installment, but Justin Kroll, or Kurls, said he's desperate to get Miller's approval. And he continued, what was that world with the Knight Rider? Pre-Mad Max. I've always been very curious about that and very tempted to talk to George about the possibility of a world that is pre-Mad Max 1 and what that is. That's been one that I've always been really curious about because it was such an influential film in my time. It's an amazing franchise, but I've always been curious about those moments before the first one because it's set up so richly. And it's such a great time in Australia too, that period. So this guy says Mad Max is such an influence to him and the character and how he becomes Mad Max and stuff, that he wants to do a movie before Mad Max. Like, wrap your head around that. How does that work and make any sense? I want to make a Mad Max movie that's probably not going to star Mad Max. I want to see a happy world. So you want to see Mad Max before the world goes to shit. That's what you want. So you just want to make a generic movie, but slap the title Mad Max onto it. That's all that is. But what's the point? What is the point? Especially when we know where the world ends up. And if he's saying, I want to see what Max was before he becomes Mad Max. Well, he was only in his 20s in the movie, so he wasn't doing much. Probably going to the police academy. It's like, it's so stupid. What an absolute moronic idea. And good Christ, do I hope it doesn't happen. And I love the fact that the headline for this says, pointless Mad Max prequel pitched by director behind panned video game movie. Yeah, oh, so it's not actually the game he did of Assassin's Creed. It was the dog shit movie he did. Oh no, keep this dude away then. It's... Why? Why would you want to do that? You have a world where you could move forward and bring Gibson back, make $1 billion, put Mel Gibson back in there as Max, and just go balls to the wall. They're going, no, we want to do prequels and sequels that are prequels, and we want to see what Max was before he becomes Mad Max. We know what he was and who he was before he became Mad Max. He's not even Mad Max in the first movie until his wife and kid are killed. That's when he becomes Mad Max. So, no. What a terrible idea. And I hope it doesn't happen. I hope no more of these movies happen, to be honest with you, because Fury Road sucks. Furiosa, it's better than Fury Road, but in terms of a Mad Max movie, no, sucks. Give me Mel Gibson back as Mad Max, then we'll talk. So, with that, let us know in the comments what you think of this idea, and I'll leave it there for this one. So cheers, and I'll catch you in the next one.